go. Hello guys. Dosto, as you know, the FIDE Chess Olympiad has started and we are bringing you the highlights or the recap of round one because this is classical chess. I know आप सब ने 6-6 घंटे के मैचेस नहीं देखे होंगे तो हम आपके लिए काम आसान करने वाले हैं. We are bringing you the highlights of the Indian games and today India was playing the round one versus Morocco. From India, the World Championship challenger Gukesh was rested because, of course, Morocco is not a very strong team. They have just FIDE Masters, and the last board was 2000 rated player. And joining me is Arhan Boyd and International Master Sanket Chakravarti. And I am Sanket Chakravarti, who's an international master, 2400 FIDE rated. He will explain us. He will go through all the games. And so, Sanket, over to you. We see board one, Pragnananda versus Mohammad is there. Sanket, over to you. Please explain us the games.
Okay, hello everyone. Let's go through the games. Let's first see at the top board of India versus Morocco, which was played between Prague and Mohammad Tisir, who is a very strong guy from Morocco. Okay, the game started with the classical Sicilian, and here Prague played a sideline, and here basically there's a trick which Prague anticipated. Like if Black is going to play d5, can anyone suggest what White is going to play?
No,
Okay,
no,
you can see the engine.
Sanket, I just have a small question here. I mean, you went through the opening. अब हमें ये बताओ, Prague was playing with the white pieces. आपके हिसाब से, where was that moment where Mohammad was out of his preparation, or the moment where you feel Prague already played a novelty kind of thing?
Yeah, this is a still opening theory, but it's a rare variation in the classical Sicilian. But here, particularly, I think Muhammad was still in his prep, but
I
he made
think
a
I think
practically.
D5. I think right now D5 will be the best move, right? Because
Yeah, it seems like the best move. I'm coming to that, but here Muhammad made a practical mistake. He played castles. So let's see at first why d5 is not working, because after e5 takes and this here white is just completely winning, because if black let's say bishop d7, queen e3, and white is has completely just tied up all the pieces of blacks, and yeah, like blacks kind of has no move.
Yeah, but the
So-
rook can still come to c7, right? If you just go to the
Yeah, he
previous
can come
position.
to c7, but let's say I can just play
rook
rook
e1.
d7 takes, and now maybe rook e1, and now let's say if you play king f8, I can just play queen h6 check and something like that, and I think this
Yeah.
game is just over.
So although you are a
And
rook
also,
down,
like,
yeah, you are a rook down, but you have a lot of compensation. Like you have a lot of
yeah,
activity.
and also I completely missed just rook d1 is a simple. The game just ends here after.
King f8. I think then queen h6 is there, and correct.
No, it's just rook d7. Yeah.
Right. So let's see what happened in the game.
Yeah, so bishop c4. Here, Engine's top choice is castles, but actually, interestingly, here the practically best move should be bishop b7. To
Yeah, this is not
try
an
to
easy move to
make
find,
d5
because
work.
what I feel that like amateurs, I mean, I would never find a move like bishop b7 because you have a pawn on a6, a pawn on
think-
c6, and like a person like us would wonder what is the bishop actually doing on b7. Like you first play c5, you try to open up the diagonal.
I think Sanket, like humanly speaking, at least like from a amateur or like a semi-advanced player, like semi-advanced players, they would assume that maybe rook g8 or maybe c5, like something like that can be a common move. I won't castle because I know the king side is open, so I would like go for rook g8 or something like that.
Yeah, actually, I get your point, and rook g8 should be an interesting move, but you have to understand that White has his own plans here, and here is a move like g3, and then let's say queen h6 in the future, and Black's position
Yeah,
pawns on the queen side, on the king side are very weak. Yeah.
Yeah, Sanket, I have one more question over here. Like, let's say you said that this, like, no, before rook g8, that this is an opening theory. Like, this is an opening that has been commonly played. So now my question here
Not
is
very
that,
common. This is a rare variation.
okay, so
because
rare
here,
variation, but this is still theory.
Yeah, here
Yeah.
usually White plays long castle and then f4. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
This is the
mean,
main lane.
but this position is still not a novelty. Like, this has occurred in the past,
No.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I have one question over here. Like, imagine you are playing this from the black side. I mean,
yeah.
your G file is open and your B file is open. So, does black plan to play the game without any, like, no, with the king in the center? Because castling looks like,
Jumping
castling
into
doesn't.
fire. Yeah,
Sorry?
castling looks like jumping into fire.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, why would black play a variation like this? That is my question over here. Like, no, why would black?
I Yeah, I think castling was in his files. Yeah, because it's kind of one of the top choices of the engine. Yeah,
Okay.
because if you see the timestamps, actually, he okay, he took a lot of time here, but actually when I saw him glitches, I thought it didn't take much time. So casting was a movie came up over the board, but
Okay.
actually
Wow.
here like the king side looks very weak, and especially against a player like Prague, you should never giving the initiative, the attack. Yeah, because if he gets the attack, he is just going to crush you. And here Black's player should concentrate in the center, like d5 should be his main goal, because his king feels safe in the center because of all the pawns around it, and also black has the double bishop advantage. But yeah, white is trying something like f4 f5 to break apart this pawn chain, and also something like queen h6 is there might come in the future. Yeah, so like castling looks like a very impractical choice, even though it's the engine says that it's fine. But I think if I was playing with the black pieces here, I think bishop b7 sure is the move I would go with.
Okay. What
Correct.
happened in the game? Like, let's
Makes
walk
sense.
through the game.
Yeah. So black played castles, queen h6, king h8, rook b3, and white's moves are very very easy, and
Yeah,
black's moves.
right now the basic idea should be like, even as a layman, I mean, I would think that since my pieces are so like so well developed, like, and they are, like, they have a good coordination, like all the pieces have a good coordination amongst them. I would just go for attack, like, like a free flow of attack.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
like over here, I feel that forget what the bar is saying. Bar says it's close to equal, but I
Yeah,
mean, somehow you sense that white is going to launch an attack. H7, G7,
yeah,
all the squares are weak, and although like
yeah,
no, let's not trust the bar, but looking at it from a human point of view, I think white should objectively be winning already. So I
Yeah,
have
it
a
would.
question here. So is it like safe to say that because Mohammed over here played the move short castle and not bishop b7, which is like an opening kind of an inaccuracy. Like, was that like the deciding moment of the match that because of castle, Prag just gets his queen to h6, the rook now goes to d3 and h3, and now this attack at some point you expect black to blunder in such situations.
yes, exactly. That's what I meant by telling that castles is not practically good move.
Yeah,
It's
because
engine wise, objectively it's good, but practically it's very bad
Yeah, because
because Prague
castle
is
is allowing. I would say I think
yeah,
I agree with Sanket, and I think castle is allowing white to be hostile. Be aggressive.
yeah,
Just go all out.
exactly, and that's the positions where Prague excels in, right?
We can just like move a bit quick now and just like
Yeah,
take it.
sure.
Yeah.
And here White just tried to exchange the main defender, which is the rook on g7, bishop d3. Like something like e5 is
F5.
in
Yeah.
the air.
But wait,
Yeah,
like
the bishop is
E5 will
looking
be
to your side.
F5. No, like E5, I can play
Yeah,
F5.
yeah, that's possible. But like something like in the future, something like when you play f5, h3, g4 might come after
Okay.
exchanging the rooks. Let's say.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah, like it's just an impending threat. It's not that I'm going to play it in the next move. Yeah?
Correct.
So c5, a3, and you see how black's pieces are completely being pushed back. Yeah, c5 was a mistake according to the engine, but already like black's position is very tough to play here. Like engine is saying to go back to b8, and it's not very clear how black can maneuver his pieces into
And I think it's very,
continuity.
very. I think it's very hard from a human perspective. I mean, when you're playing Prague, like a player like Prague, there's like a
Yeah.
psychological barrier in the first place, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
mean, I think there were two barriers. One was that you're facing truck 2750, and secondly, of course, finding retreating moves is always difficult.
exactly.
Exactly. And like you are just come rook b8 to b4, and now the engine says the best move is rook b8 back. It's just very unnatural. Yeah,
I would
against
play
Brazil.
d5 here. Like no, after like instead of c5, I would play d5 here.
Yeah, yeah. So here black played c5 and a3 rook b8. You see how black's pieces are completely being pushed back, and rook c3 very accurate play by white. And here it's just over. Okay, you have the opposite color bishops, and when you have opposite color bishops, the side who has a weaker king is at the disadvantage. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
but over
white
here
is
also
clearly
the
winning.
bishop on e7 just looks like a pawn. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
pawn.
just blocked by its own pawns on f6, d6, and it's just a terrible position. And here Mohammed resigned. And like the most interesting part is the time difference. Yeah, you see, Mohammed had been playing with so much less time in the last few moves. Yeah, because his moves have been very hard.
Yeah, and this
Okay,
was the
so
first game to
first,
end. Like Prag
yeah,
was the first player to strike and get India 1-0 lead. Second, it was none other than Vidit Gujrati playing on board number three. Both the Indian players playing with the white pieces, they struck first. And I think it just shows some solid preparation, with the white pieces. And now let us look at Arjun Erigesi's game playing on board number two. India number one, Sanket, over to you.
sure. Yeah, they started with the Rakos, with the Nimzo Indian, and it transposed into the D6
Yeah,
version.
Sanket,
Actually,
can
I
you
have
please
not.
flip the board for our audience?
Yeah, sure.
You have to click on X, I think, just X.
X. Ah, okay. Thank you. Uh, okay, I am not so very versed with the theory in the Nimzo Indian, but yeah, Arjun is known for his D6, C6, Knight F6 kind of setups. He plays it even without Bishop D4. But yeah, this seems like some mainline theory. But okay, White had some advantage in the beginning, and White has the center, the huge center control, and I think White
Wow.
was completely winning at some point here.
But I
Here,
mean,
just Queen D1.
just look at Arjun's time. I mean, he's just taken 28 minutes. So, I mean, Bishop into B4. What was this?
Yeah, I think it was just a bluff, to be honest, because
And he
Bishop
played
into
it in one
B4.
minute. He played it in 1 minute.
Yeah, no, I think he was anticipating this B4 move since this position, and when he played Bishop A6, he had already calculated B4. But
Wow.
honestly speaking, I don't think this should work because,
So
like,
Arjun
let's say
was
after
minus
Queen
basically.
B1,
Yeah, the bar just says plus 3.4. So I think Arjun.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But of
and
course,
this is the
look, knowing Arjun 2700 plus, he has got all his rating beating lower rated players. So I mean, I'm sure he was still confident about this position.
yeah, he was. But if you look at his games closely, even in the other tournaments, he takes a lot of risks, and often he ends up in a, like, let's say, a clearly disadvantageous position, but he somehow manages to win those.
And
But
Sanket, slightly drifting off topic over here. As you said, he takes a lot of risks. Do you think that is the reason why they have put Prag? I mean, sorry, they have put Arjun on board number three and not on board number one, given that he's world number four, India number one, and he's playing on board number three. Do you think that can be one of the reasons why that they have put Arjun in such a board where he goes and takes the risks, that no, he goes and takes his chances. He has the freedom, just go and strike. Do you think that is the role given to him from the
yes,
team captain?
yes, I think I will completely agree with you because Arjun's playing style suits him to make him face against lower rated opponents. And in on the board three, you are expected to face someone like
And
2600 plus, but in
and
the board one, you're going to
I
face.
personally think that Arjun is really aggressive by nature. So I think
Yes,
it suits his style. Over to you,
yes,
Sanjay, like
because it suits his style, and like he's so good at beating lower rated opponents, let's say 26, 26, 50 rated oppositions. That's why maybe he's playing on board number three, even though he's the world India number one. Yeah. But here, Rook A6 was a very bad mistake. I think Knight F4 was a very simple move because like the D4 pawn is not hanging because the D4 knight is hanging there, and I think White is threatening to play something like Knight D3 next move, and the a6 bishop will be in pre, and I think white is just clearly well. It's still a complicated position. Black has some counter chances, but I think it should be uh, like black. White should be in safe waters here. Like yeah, this position just seems so easy for white to play, and I don't think there is any real counterplay which Arjun can generate. You know, and I think if White is getting to play Bishop G2 and castles, he's going to like consolidate the whole position, and he's going to be a clear piece up here. But okay, let's see Rook A6. Rook A6 was a very bad uh, blunder by White. Knight A6, and then the game just okay. The engine is saying it's equal, but you know Black has such a large majority on the queen side, and his pawns are going to just roll over. And I think practically already Black is much better. Yeah, lots of mistakes from both sides, but okay, this I just think if anyone is going to win this game, it should be Black, and that's what happened because it's very hard for White to uh, prevent blunders here. And yeah, Arjun just got a winning position pretty easily.
Yeah, so
And yeah,
not an
that's
ideal start for Arjun in terms of quality of play, but I think he would just be satisfied with a win, and I think he just
yes,
like he would look to forget this game and just look ahead in the tournament and play better chess. I mean, that's what I feel about
obviously,
this game.
obviously, and like Arjun is going to play this kind of chess, I feel. But the thing is, always his opponents have a lot of respect for him, so they just kind of respect his calculations, and even if they are winning, they are just self-doubting themselves. Yeah,
I agree. I think
I
this is
think
like a
that's
statement by
something.
Arjun. This is like a statement by Arjun that I'm going to play aggressive chess. I'm going to
Yeah.
play this kind of chess. And now let us quickly look at board number three, Vidit Gujarati playing with the white
Yes.
pieces against his opponent from Morocco. And I think he was the player who finished immediately after Prague's game. He was the second
Yes. The
player.
second game to finish. Yeah. So it was Petrov defense. Okay, I just
Rui
this was
Lopez.
Rai Lopez, a very rare variation in the Rai Lopez, but okay, I just confused it with Petrov. I saw in some other game, I think. Uh, okay, I forgot which game it was. Yeah, Bishop D7, this, and already like I think Black had this in his preparations. He tried to surprise Vidit, but okay, his Vidit is Vidit, and he can't be surprised in the opening. And I think White got a very comfortable position and just
White is
straight out of
already
block.
near close to +2 in like 7 moves.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah,
Here, I would like to know, like, I'm sure our audience would be keen to understand that. I mean, over here, just eight moves have been played, and white is already better. And when we look at this position, it actually looks equal. So, can you just give us some insight on why the engine
Sure.
already says plus 1.5 for white in this
Sure.
position?
actually, the engine is saying plus 1.67, but if you give it to a stronger engine, it should show probably plus 1. But actually, White's advantage here lies in the activity of his pieces and his development. You see, so many pieces of blacks are just in the last rank here, and black's king is in the center, and it's going to cost him two more moves to get castle here. And let one good thing for black is are his double bishops, but white has a space advantage in the center and greater central control. So I think white is going to play long castles and black is going to go short because that's the only thing he can do. But since white has a space advantage in the center, this calls for a flank attack, and white's flank attack is going to be much more powerful than black's. Black is also going to try to create some counterplay on the queen side, but since he doesn't have a good central control, it doesn't seem that his attack is going to be fruitful.
Guys, that
So
was a great explanation by इंटरनेशनल मास्टर संकेत चक्रवर्ती. अगर आपको ऐसे insights चाहिए तो आपको एक ही चैनल में मिलेगा, Chess Freaks. So do follow our channel for such great insights.
okay, so bishop e7, castles, and now if I was white, I would have gone f3. But okay, you can even start with rook g1, g4. These are very like natural moves for white. And b5, knight b5, and there was really nothing. Like usually when you play b5, you should not take these pawns because it opens up the file in front of the opponent's rook. I mean your king in front of your king, and this is not something you should do. But like concretely, there is nothing immediate that black is going to achieve by opening up this file. So I think knight db5 is a very safe safe pawn to take.
Correct.
And as you see, uh, white's pieces are just playing by themselves, and it's uh,
Yeah, knight is
I
almost trapped.
think
Yeah,
I
close
just
to trapped.
yeah. I mean, he obviously has 95, but okay, that's going to cost another pawn, and also f6 is coming, yeah, and f6, and then black is going to get just busted.
Yeah, I think this was just a very smooth game. Like Vidit just gave
Yeah,
his opponent no
exactly.
chances there, and and yeah, now once you have your
Yeah,
pawns there, you're sure to
and now
convert.
another thing you see is that black's light scores are terribly weak. White's knight is going to jump on to f6, and then the game is completely over.
Right, right.
And you see, black has no counterplay on the queen side, even though he has the open b file. So you can learn from this game that the central control is most important uh, in chess, in all openings,
Correct.
And yeah, all the queen side pawns fell, and this game is just over.
Yeah, I think
Completely.
this was a
Yeah.
fabulous game. Like completely one-sided game.
Yeah.
Vidit showing his dominance, showing his class in this game.
Yes.
I mean, like our Indian statements, both Vidit and Prag have shown that they are solidly prepared with the white pieces. And now this game, I am very looking forward to see. I mean, it's so good to see Hari Krishna back in the Indian squad. He's been no,
Yes.
not in his best of forms of late. He's dropped below 2700. But personally, I'm a huge fan of Hari. I love the way he plays his end games, and I was very happy when I saw that Hari was selected for the Indian squad over the likes of Nihal, Sarin, and Arvind. So, I mean, people may have their different views, but I was super happy to see Hari Krishna. And
But
and
I think, agreeing with on the similar grounds what Manal said, I think Hari deserves the praise just because of who Hari is, like his wealth of
Yeah, exactly.
experience. And,
Hari is probably the most experienced of all the players in this squad. Yeah.
I think
exactly.
he's played the most
Yeah.
Olympiads out of the five, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, this is Hari's 11th Olympiad, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, man, just tons of experience, and let's hope that
Yeah.
he's able to. And if you can just flip the board for our audience because Hari's playing
Yeah,
with the
sure.
black pieces. X
Yes.
X yes.
And I think this was a very strong game by Hari. It was the
Rosolimo.
Rosolimo. I mean,
Wow.
sorry, it's the Moscow variation,
Okay,
and
Bishop
Hari
B5
plays.
is not Rosolimo, right? I thought Bishop B5 is Rosolimo.
Yeah, like it kind of transfers to the Moscow. Like here, if you play G6 or E6, it's called the Rosolimo. But like this variation, what's played here, it can come by this move order as well. So it's kind of transposed into some lines of the Moscow.
Correct.
Or you could say like it's hard to name it because it can come
Yeah,
by
guys,
both.
let's not focus on the opening. Let's focus on the
Yeah,
masterclass by Hari.
yeah, yeah. Just a simple piece development, but I think White has a pretty good position here. But okay, like Hari is gaining some space on the queen side, and this is a very tricky operation by Hari, like queen b6 and then queen d8 back. I think queen
Okay,
b6 was played to prevent d4, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and when White's knight came to e3,
now he
there
wants to
is
play
no
B5.
more chance of d4, and hence Hari came with his queen back to d8 so that he can play b5.
And
So
I
this is
think
a very
I would just think that Hari is just trying to confuse his opponent because, I mean, because Hari being Hari, I mean, I'm sure that's not his main line, like what Hari plays, right? So I think he's just trying to confuse
Yeah,
his
and
opponent.
also his opponent is just 2018. So, I feel that Hari would have been a bit relaxed, like 2700 player,
Exactly.
so it's so much experience, played at the top
exactly.
level. So he wanted to maybe just get his opponent out of his books and then just try to outplay him.
Yes,
Exactly.
maybe that's true, but I think what he played with Queen D6 and Queen D8 back, it's very a very strong. It has a very strong positional reason, because it's preventing D4, and D4 is like a very D4 opens up the activity of the white pieces, because you should not allow white much activity because he has the double bishops.
Correct.
Okay, so let's go on. And here Hari is putting pressure on the c3 pawn, and this bishop is just a monster on this diagonal, and yeah, he's just maneuvering his knights very skillfully, and you see how useless white's double bishops prove to be here. And actually, it's hard to say where white went wrong here, but it's just that Hari completely outplayed his opponent.
Exactly.
You know, maybe bishop g4 was not such a good move here. Maybe white should try to activate his pieces or maneuver his knight somewhere. Uh, let's say he can come to the e2 square, maybe. I don't know. Or f5, maybe some idea here. But okay, bishop g4 was played in the game. 26, f5 here.
That's a
And this time
clear
was,
blunder, right?
yeah, it's not a very clear blunder because d4, white's knight has to go back. But yeah, but it's hard to place a move with white in this position.
Yeah, F5 actually, no, it looks like an obvious move. You want to get your knight on F5, you want to just trade something, get your rook on the open F
Yeah,
file, and play like that. So, like, no,
yeah, but
given these
f5
2000
doesn't.
agent,
F5 doesn't really make much sense because even if you take on g6, I can just take with the pawn. Maybe I'll take with the f pawn, to open up the
Correct.
e5. So maybe here after queen d6, something like rook a6 and trying to play on the a file should have been what I should have tried to do.
yeah,
Correct.
makes sense.
And here, just I think dc3, dc3, and a very strong move by black. This d2 bishop is a motive. The c3 pawn is very weak, and this calls for d3 and queen c1. And here, a very strong move by
Yeah,
Hari
I
was queen
like this
b3.
move B3 because you when you see a fast pawn, you push it. You cannot take it because the bishop on D2 falls. So yeah,
Exactly. And now the c4 pawn is falling. The c3 pawn is going to fall in the future for sure. And here, white played a very bad move, queen bishop d1, and here queen f1 check, and now king h2, bishop e5 is coming, and this just came out.
wow. So what a start for India. I mean 4-0, a complete whitewash, but not something to be very happy about because this was an expected result. I think our players were like rated 300, 400 points higher on all the boards.
Sorry to disagree with you, Mrinal, about the fact that not something to be happy about because like it's a good start. I mean, obviously it was an expected start, but it's a good start. The morale is
Like,
high.
of course,
Yes.
when you are the second seed, you expect India to crush teams like Morocco. मजा तो हमें तब आएगा जब इंडिया पेलेगी यूएसए को या चाइना को या
वो भी
उज़्बेक
हरा
को.
देंगे.
Exactly.
See, I feel 2024 is a good year. We won the T20 World Cup. We did pretty well in Paralympics. So I think chess Olympiad में भी अच्छे ही करेंगे.
Yes, fingers crossed. I hope India is going to win this Olympiad. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
not only us, but I think a billion hearts, a billion people are rooting for India.
Yeah.
That was a solid start to the Olympiad. India,
Yes.
India defeated Morocco 4-0. Guys, this was the round one recap or highlights which we have brought to you. By our I would say, the star guest, international master Sanket Chakravarti. Unfolding the
Thank you.
moves, unfolding, he is bringing out, he's helping us to unravel what's happening in the brains of the Indian players, and with some great insights. So, guys, with that, thank you so much. And, this was the round one highlights. Thank you, Arhan Boyd and Sanket, for joining. And we will be back again with the highlights of the other rounds.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for
thank you
having me
guys.
here today. See you.